Hey, how's it going? I've been okay. I've been watching and rewatching the things that I've done, and I laughed somewhere. Somewhere I was like, "Wow, this is just something interesting. Something interesting." So, should you be happy or should you be interesting? That has always been on my mind, and I think that there is a balance because happiness is some sort of a state of mind, right? It's just your the way how your mind works, and it's some sort of a blissful state in which you understand that you're content. And interesting is the person that I believe can always entertain you. I think it's just coming from different polarities, and polarities is one of the principles of your communication with life, in which polarity you are. There are people who are against something, and then there are people who are pro something, and they usually against some sort of one idea. And now, with all the amount of people in the world, I believe that there are so many people with so many different polarities. And then there are those who understand that you have to be somewhere in the middle, some sort of a middle ground kind of a way of thinking, and not to be polarized. First, you need to, I guess, understand that you're one of those. Then realize that you don't want to be one of those, and then just try to stay away from some sort of a negotiation. I believe you can also go into saying that when you're not polarized, you are, because you take the position of understanding, then you're an observer, and so on and so forth, and then you can add the fractal idea behind it, and who is observing whom, and so on and so forth. Like, and who are you in this whole scenario? So yeah, that's complicated, but I believe just you can pause at some point and just be like, yeah, okay, this is just fine for me. You go really high, you ascend towards some sort of a plane, and then you're just like, okay, I need to ground myself. And where you ground yourself, it's just some place that you feel comfortable within yourself. Like, I've been suffering from anxieties and fears, and I just meditated. I listened to different guided meditations. I think I found those channels back in the day, like way back in the day. I mean, for me, way back in the day would be some 10 years ago. This is in my start of my meditating process. And I've been listening to the same people for some time already. It's the Honest Guys, for instance, YouTube channel. Fantastic. They have this visualization, meditations where they give you some sort of help with what to look at, and go through them guided, like how you cleanse your body and so on and so forth. It's pretty cool. It calms you down. So I was in a polarity where I was afraid of. I was looking towards the future, and I was analyzing what's happening there. So the technique of letting go would be just understanding that the future is now. I'm building myself now. So if I'm always in a constant anxious mode, my whole future is going to be anxious, and everything that comes will be horrible because I will be always in a stress mode. I don't want to do that. So I found a way how to ground myself through different meditations, the breathing techniques, and I'm gesticulating quite a lot because that's what I do. I'm preparing myself to talk to audience. All the time I need to talk to the audience. We need to do that. I have never seen him talk, and you know who I'm talking about. The one who, like my friend said, they are fascinated about. Yeah, that guy. Maybe I will take a look. Who knows? But as I said earlier, I come from a culture where we always talk with our hands. I'm not talking about it as if it's a secret. Maybe it should be. Yeah, a little bit of mystery. Okay. What do you think about that? Okay, you're keeping silent as usual. So getting away from fear and losing it usually just grounds you and makes you more, content in a way. So why is it needed? Because when I was meditating, I realized that there's something that I really wanted to draw, like some time ago. There used to be this Russian artist, Viktor Popkov. He was one of the people who originated in the. If I use the straightforward translation, it would be severe style, like this masculine, really strong. What was the whole idea of Soviet Union back in the day, like in the 60s, 70s, maybe even 50s, and so it's суровый стиль. It's severe stuff. So yeah, that. And I always wanted to redraw that in a way, just add some of my own little bit of things, because I started with the avant-garde and I redrew one drawing by one artist, of course, in the means of this whole meta-modern, postmodern world where we all just use links and so on and so forth, and everybody's an artist and can create everything. But actually the idea of making everything was by this guy. His surname was Larionov, yes, and also his people around them, that his wife Goncharova, they were talking about making everything, всё making everything into art. So I guess the idea of having links and then relinking things is not that new. It is not new at all. So, but that's what we do. I mean, a lot of people that are modern artists who are not continuing some sort of a tradition, and they're in this pool of information and in this whole modern art world, and not like continuing the tradition of some place that they've been living in. Like, for instance, the Italians would be doing the Italian school and so on and so forth, and Russians would be doing some Russian school that has ended with the socialistic art, soцart. I mean the traditional academic art, because I believe that from somewhere in the 90s, some 1905, it was claimed that there is no art in Russia because of one event. There was this guy who was chopping the where the saints are drawn. You go to the Christian Orthodox church, and then there are those pictures. I don't know the name for that, by the way. Write down in comments if you know. If you're gonna do that, anyways. Whatever. The Jesus is depicted there also, and all the saints. So he was chopping them down, but they were printed out. So there was a scandal, and they were like, you know what? No more art for you. Just that's it. You're done. And yeah, so what I was thinking about is just mixing those things together. There's this one great drawing, a painting by him. So I'm just going to use those styles and mix them together. I think it's a good idea. So what was that about? Was that I was sitting and meditating, and it just came out to me, and I was like, and I saw the picture. I just saw the picture that I needed to draw while I was meditating. Fantastic. I mean, this is just like a experience. So my path of an artist, this is the way that I'm going, is all about doing that. So I just get the ideas and influences, and I just cleanse my body. I go through different changes and so on, whatnot, by meditating. Also, I use some physical activity, but physical activity has been on and off kind of a thing, but meditation has been always with me for a really long time. Of course, there were periods when I wouldn't do that, but just, it always been with me, like hand to hand for some time. So if I would recommend anything to anyone, that would be that. Just observing their mind and sitting in a quiet place, just looking as an observer about what's happening in their mind, and just being, because being is the highest state of enlightenment, I believe, when you can actually just live your life and be okay with it, sometimes I cannot reflect myself in the situation that I'm actually doing that, because some energies are getting me down, especially with interaction with different people, which is a must. You cannot, like, especially in our time now, when the whole virus hysteria went a little bit down, and some people isolated themselves, and other people realized that just the most important thing is to be connected. So, for the survival, you need to do that. So it's a pretty like hard paradigm to go through, because this is not my strongest point. Okay? Like, yeah, I used to say that I hate people, but it was from a lower vibration coming. I'm okay with them, but there are some things that I cannot understand, which I also have in me, the weaknesses and so on and so forth. So I hate those things, and I not hate, but I do not like them as such, but I understand the necessity of having them. So yeah, that's the ascendance process. Like working out, meditation, healthy food like greens and vegetables, and counting your calories, how much you eat, and all these things, for me, they work so that my mind is getting clearer. Vitamins and some Ayurvedic supplements that I take. I will see a little bit forward how these things are working, and then I will just, if they are really, okay, then I gradually start talking about them, and then probably I will just open up and say whatever there is that I do, in order just to balance myself, because it really works. It really works. And I really love the way that this whole image actually is an image at the same time, while there are a lot of things that are real. Very interesting blend, I would say, because when I watch what I do, to analyze, just think about, okay, well, that's new media for me. I need to figure out how that works. I analyze myself as a separate person, as something that is on the screen. Yeah, that's interesting, I would say. So yeah, I guess that's it. And yeah, just be safe, be cool, and tons of respect.